Yo, what's happening, man? It's your boy Finesse Dog, man. We back with another one, man. We back in the YouTube streets. We back in the trenches. We've been grinding. We've been going crazy. You feel me? We still trying to build this second YouTube channel up. So we still posting over here, but we still posting on that gaming channel too. So make sure y'all stay locked in. Yeah, did appreciate all the support, obviously. Appreciate everybody that's been subbing up. Appreciate everybody that's been liking up the videos. You feel me? Just been tuned in overall, man. We still going crazy. Listen, in January, January was a very productive month. We really turned up in January, you feel me? So we're gonna keep that momentum going, you feel me? Today we finna react to this crazy, insane trade that happened a couple days ago. What, 2 days ago now? Like, that nobody ever seen coming. Like, nobody ever thought a team would trade their 5-time 25-year-old all-NBA player, you know what I'm saying, generational player, in the middle of a season in history. Nobody ever thought that was going to happen ever. So we're gonna peep game, you feel me? We're gonna get into it real quick. We ain't even gonna be yapping too crazy. Let's just get right into it. Let's get it. All right, man. Boy, this is the craziest trade, boy, the craziest. I was not expecting that shit at all.
There aren't many things that can stop the entire NBA world in its tracks at 10 p.m. on a Saturday night. Did someone score 100 points? Did LeBron hastily retire in the middle of the season? What, did Michael Jordan come back out of retirement? What could possibly get...
Word to everything I love. Nigga, I thought that shit was cap. Nigga, the first thing I did when I seen that notification from ESPN, nigga, I goddamn screamed. I was like, what? Like, what? Boy, ain't no way, boy. First of all, that was the first thing I did. And then it's like, I started instantly checking the date because I'm like, bro, there's got to be April Fool's. But I'm like, bro, it's clearly not April. I'm like, nigga, it's February. Like, this got to be capped, though. It's got to be hacked. Like Shams got to be hacked. Like, bro, that shit was crazy, bro.
Get everyone riled up.
And I go on IG and I'm like, bro.
Oh, my God. We all said
bro,
in unison
this shit
as
was
news broke that the Mavericks
bro.
traded Luka Doncic for AnthonyDavis. I couldn't believe what I was
Shams
seeing.
Was like, no, nigga, this is real.
Just some big elaborate hack
damn.
job, and I was waiting for follow-up tweets saying, "False alarm! The Mavericks actually are brain dead." I can't believe you guys fell for it.
I swear it was April Fool's, but I'm like, bro, it's not April.
Was unfortunately very real, and the Mavericks are in fact out of their minds. The same player who Mark Cuban said he would rather leave his wife before giving up. The same player who was responsible for a third of the organization's finals appearances. The same player who, by the grace of God, miraculously fell into their lap 7 years ago, is now gone. And after looking at the reported details of this exchange, how it went down and who was involved, this is, without exaggeration, the most shocking trade in NBA history.
Damn near. All-NBA player, 5-time All-NBA.
Now that we've had about a day to digest the Luka AD trade, by now the reality of the situation should be setting in.
Right.
It has not. A trade so insane that fans are now theorizing if the league did it for the sake of ratings. Imagine concocting a deal so heinous that your fans literally think you're doing it for clout. That is how crazy this trade is. And there's about a dozen reasons why this is legitimately...
Now for real, nigga, I done fucked around and went viral. Nah, for real, like on IG, I done fucked around and went viral because I posted a little video talking about the trade. That's how crazy it is. Like, that shit just instantly picked up like that. So this shit's still crazy.
Most shocking deal we have ever seen. First, according to multiple sources, none of the players even knew this trade was happening. Not Luka, not AnthonyDavis, not even the Lakers GM LebronJames. As some sources put it, this deal materialized in the shadows. In the shadows? What is this? The Illuminati? What do you mean in the shadows? It turns out this was the cleanest way this deal could have gone down. Because the next component that makes this truly the craziest trade to ever happen, Luka never requested a trade. He's been in Dallas his entire career, and outside of a few...
They said that man Luka just bought a $15 million house. So he just closed on a $15 million house. Ain't no way, boy. Somebody got to get punched on God. Like, somebody got to get punched on. Ain't no way I spent 15 M's on a crib. Thinking I'm going to be there for the long haul. And y'all niggas trade me? Five-time All-NBA scoring champ just last season? Just led y'all to the championship? We lost, but we got there, though. Feel me? Like, ain't no way, boy. led the whole playoffs in almost every statistical category: points, rebounds, assists, steals. I don't even know if it was blocks, but I don't think it was blocks, but he damn near led the playoffs on almost every statistical category. And this is him, quote unquote, out of shape. And y'all traded that man. And then y'all say, oh, well, we trying to build a championship team. We trying to build a championship team. But he was like the focal point of the championship team. You do realize that, right? And they still a decent team, but ain't no way, boy.
Rumors, nothing suggested he wouldn't be a lifer in that organization.
Nothing.
There wasn't any
he was going to
build-up,
sign that extension this summer. He was going to sign that motherfucker.
Demands. It just happened out of the blue, which is reason number 3. The Mavs just traded away a top 3 asset in the NBA without even shopping him. No bidding wars, no asking around and assessing other offers. They
said Rob Pelinka, because crazy connection. Him and Rob Pelinka were connected to Kobe. The GM for the Mavericks was Kobe's old Nike rep. Rob Pelinka is Kobe's old agent. So they obviously got a relationship between doing that type of business, you know what I'm saying, between Nike and Kobe. So he hit him off the muscle, like off the strength. Obviously they wanted AD, but just from having that relationship just got him the first call. Niggas said they had a dinner like weeks back. This is weeks ago. They said they had a dinner or they had like coffee or something, and he floated the idea of Luka back then, and Rob laughed it off, thinking he was like, he capped, like he thought he was tripping, he thought he was playing. Old time, couple weeks down the line later, he got that phone call in the middle of that night. Boy, what you trying to do for Luka? You know what I'm saying? Give us AD, give us another player and a pick, and that's it. When they should have got both picks.
Made the call to the Lakers and accepted the deal. Can you imagine the haul Dallas would have got if they actually shopped Luka around the league for a couple of months?
It would have been pandemonium.
Oh, you want to give us Luka? Here is our entire franchise, the players, the coaches, the building, the staff, my firstborn child. Take it all. Thanks for doing business. I'll figure out the details later. If Rudy Gobert is worth 2 starters, 5 first-rounders, and a pick swap.
That's the thing that fucked the league up, was this Rudy Gobert trade a couple of years ago, because that's why when KD requested a trade from the Brooklyn Nets, they said, you know what I'm saying? They were telling teams, Brooklyn was telling teams that they wanted pretty much the whole franchise, because y'all got all that for Rudy Gobert. Oh, we need everything for KD. So this trade really messed a lot of things up.
If Mikal Bridges is worth 5 first-rounders, a second-rounder,
people say we got fleeced for that.
If an aging Paul George is worth a rising SGA, 5 first-round picks, and 2 pick swaps,
that was crazy. And they ain't even winning.
Imagine what a prime Luka Doncic would have fetched to the right team? Oh wait, I know. A 31-year-old AnthonyDavis and a thank you note. It makes no sense.
Appreciate you.
And that brings up reason number 4. The Mavericks were just in the finals last year.
Last season,
We've seen players sign with other teams after a finals run. We've seen players demand trades after a great season. But we have never seen a team willingly cough up a megastar after being just 3 games away from winning a championship.
That's insane.
It's unthinkable. Because reason number 5, it's Luka freaking Doncic. You do not trade Luka Doncic.
Don't trade him like that.
Rank players
Mind
in
you,
the NBA,
I heard somebody bring up a great point. Zion Williamson is still a New Orleans Pelican. I repeat, Zion Williamson is still a New Orleans Pelican, and he's literally had weight issues this whole time. That's why they traded Luka, because of his discipline off the court when it came to his conditioning and his weight issues. If that was the case, Zion should have been out the league, because he was the heaviest NBA player at 6'6" at one point. So how Zion and get traded whole time? Y'all traded Luka like that, and y'all just went to the championship. Zion barely played in the playoffs. He barely played in the regular season, and he's still a New Orleans Pelican. They still somewhat believe in him that he's going to change the franchise eventually if they just get him right. Y'all trade Luka just like that, but Zion's still a Pelican? How? If they don't win a championship in the next year or 2, and I'm throwing y'all a bone by even saying 2, because it really should be either this season or next season. If y'all don't win a championship, this might be the worst trade ever. Because the Lakers, they don't got to win right away. They got to still build a team around him even after LeBron leave. So it's like, this really their future. They just starting to get together. But the Dallas Mavericks, y'all have to win. They got to get the dub this season. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like
on their trade value, starting with the players who are the most untouchable, non-negotiable, hang up the phone. Luka is probably
they would
third
trade
or
Jalen
fourth
Brunson
on that list.
as a Knicks
the
fan.
only two players definitively ahead of him are Wemby and Jokic. Now just try to wrap your head around the deal a team would have to offer in exchange for Nikola Jokic, or what the Bucks would get in return for Giannis. Here's a hint, there isn't one, because they would never trade them away.
No
the
funny
deal
shit.
doesn't exist.
What?
Tim McMahon of ESPN
Yeah, at least
reported
the Nuggets had Carmelo Anthony at one point, so that shows that at least they were able to draft another superstar, even after they last superstar, right? But the Bucks ain't have nobody since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Like Giannis is like their end all be all. Once they trade him, that shit over with, because ain't nobody going to Milwaukee to play. They got a draft, so GG's, but it ain't giving them up.
Dallas had two major concerns in regards of Luka's future with the franchise. The first one being his massive $345 million 5-year extension, which he would have been eligible for this summer.
He would have
and the
signed
second
that thing.
concern being
Ain't no
his
way he
health
giving that up.
and conditioning. In other words, the man was out of shape. So
That's
let me
insane.
get this straight. The
There's
Dallas
so many
Mavericks
players in the league
just
that's out of
traded away
shape
the
that
best
would
player
never
of a
get traded.
generation.
Nigga, Jokic was out of shape a couple years ago. Before they won a championship, he was out of shape. And he got right, but it's like, nigga, you don't just trade a generational player because they're out of shape when they have, like I said, 5 All-NBAs and have led y'all all the way to the championship. Y'all don't do that. Stop doing that. Like,
The future of their franchise and the man that just got them to the finals on one leg because he put on a few pounds. For fuck's sake, Zion Williamson ate his way into load management, and he has spent the last 6 seasons in and out of rehab, and the Pelicans are still sticking by him.
Like, come on, bro.
Now, Zion didn't deserve that stray. Seems like a nice guy. I wish him the best. But you get the point.
Come on,
we are
bro.
now over a decade into the process, and the Sixers have yet to move on from Embiid. It's one thing for a franchise player to want out, to sign with another team if they aren't happy and the opportunity presents itself. But for a franchise to pull the trigger and get rid of a megastar in his prime because of constant conditioning issues is criminal. There's really no precedent or great comparison for a trade like this. Because in the past, even when teams did trade a superstar, there was context behind those trades that at least made it seem justifiable. Either the star was exiting their prime and the team was trying to salvage some value before they inevitably left, or despite how good the star was, the team wasn't finding much postseason success and wanted to go in a different direction. Or the star was bound to leave anyways, made it known, and the team had no leverage, so
James Harden was out of shape?
Forced into the trade. This deal between the Mavs and the Lakers has none of those elements involved. Luka didn't request a trade. He's 25 years old in his prime, and the Mavericks championship window just opened up. Now, as a Blazers fan, I am painfully aware of how hard it is to get your hands on a true franchise player. Painfully
He's in the trenches, not a Blazers fan.
Entire 55
I was in the trenches. I'm a Knicks fan, so
we've
I
had
understand.
3. The first one got hurt, the second one was incredible, the potential third one got hurt, and the actual third one was also incredible. That's about one superstar every 20 years.
Around him, nobody
what does the lackluster history of my team have to do with this trade? Well, because the Mavericks should know a thing or two about keeping their hands on a generational talent. Because in their franchise's history, they've only had 2 of them, Dirk Nowitzki and Luka Doncic. The first one spent his entire 21-year career in Dallas, facing ups and downs and winning arguably the heaviest and most challenging championship of our lifetime. And the second one, they traded away for AD in a box of scraps after just 6.5 seasons of a promising.
Hold on now. Max Christie ain't that bad. He can play defense. He ain't that bad. I wouldn't say a box of scraps.
Career. And as every fan of a non-major market team knows all too well, generational talents only come along once in a generation. The Mavericks aren't some hotspot for superstar talent. They don't get real chances to win it all often. Just 3 trips to the finals in 45 years. One of those trips at the hands of the guy who they just sent packing. They cannot afford to roll the dice and hope for greener pastures like some other teams can. You are not the Lakers. You get a player like Luka and you lock that man in and throw away the key. What are we doing?
It could be figure that shit out later. You sign that man and figure that conditioning shit out later.
On a Mavericks jersey, and the team traded him away because he was mildly out of shape. It makes me sick. This is coming from a desperate man who's got 18 years left before I see another Dame. Which brings us to their second concern. Again, according to sources, the Mavericks were not keen on giving Luka an extension that would have made him the highest paid player in the league. But if the third best player in the world who gets better in the playoffs is a perennial MVP candidate who's hitting his prime isn't worth paying, then who the hell is? Dallas said that this was a win now trade. An oxymoron of a statement considering who they just traded and where he just got them last season. But superstars win championships. Superstars also cost a lot of money. And if you're not willing to empty your pockets, how committed are you to actually winning? In what world has being cheap ever won a team a title? It just seems completely counterintuitive to what they're trying to accomplish. Now, the implications of this trade for the Lakers are just as drastic, but for entirely different reasons. For starters, this will be the first time in LeBron's entire career, youth, high school, NBA, a lifetime of basketball, where he won't be the best player on his team, which is already a huge adjustment for him and the team as a whole, but it's specifically...
Hey, I mean, LA is like, I think they fourth in the conference in the West. That's actually not bad. Like they tied for fourth with the Nuggets. That's not bad. But they just traded away their whole defense. They just traded away AD. That's their defense in the paint. And with Max Christie, that's their defense on the perimeter. We just lost to the Lakers a couple of days ago because Max Christie locked up Jalen Brunson, and then LebronJames dropped a triple-double. But hey, y'all tweaking. I mean, but hey, y'all got Luka, so y'all got y'all 10-year plan. So it worked in y'all favor low key, but this year it's cooked. Unless y'all somehow because they need a big, and they probably need somebody to help defend on the perimeter because Luka and LeBron ain't playing no type defense. So they still need to try to put something around Luka and LeBron for the now, but right now they're cooked on defense.
Because Luka and LeBron essentially do the same exact thing. Oversized on-ball floor generals with elite scoring abilities.
Right.
In fact, they not only have the same skill set, they take on the exact same roles on the court. LeBron has always initiated the offense, even if it meant relegating point guards to other positions. Right. And this usually worked in the past because no one did what LeBron could do nearly as good as he could do it. But now there's a guy who can do what LeBron can do.
I think he works. That's why I think he worked well with like a Kyrie, because even though Kyrie's a 1 because of his size, technically he's a 2. So it kind of worked. That's why that worked. And same with D-Wade. D-Wade's a 2. So it's like, that's why, but they played it pretty much the same position. So I don't know. I think it could work because they both smart. They both great. So it can somewhat work. They just need the right pieces around them. They need some good shooters. Like I said, they need some decent defense.
Only better. So that means unless Luka and the Lakers are okay with him getting neutralized, LeBron will have to truly play off ball and within the flow of the offense for the first time in about 2 decades. 2 LeBrons on 1 team. Sounds great in theory, probably a bit redundant. Which leads me to believe the Lakers are actually playing a longer game with this trade. Sources report that the Mavericks are the ones that approached LA with this trade. And despite the Lakers playing fairly well as of late, I think they knew their chances of winning another title with the LeBron-AD duo was getting slim. So with the option of trading away key pieces and tripling down on a 40-year-old LeBron to carry them to the promised land, or trade for a megastar that just showed up on their doorstep 5 minutes ago, they couldn't book AD's flight to Dallas quick enough. Which makes me think this move was the first step into the post-LeBron era in Los Angeles. As we all know, LeBron will more than likely retire within a season or 2, and the Lakers needed a new face for their franchise, and they just got it. Inexplicably, miraculously, in the most Lakers way imaginable. I always wondered what LeBron's final years would look like, how he would go out, who would be around him, but never in my wildest dreams did I imagine it would be playing second fiddle to Luka Doncic in a Lakers jersey. All in all, it seems like the Mavericks won this trade, if you zoom way in and look at this in an 18-month window. But zoom out, and the Lakers are looking around asking themselves how they just pulled off a bank heist. With AD, the Mavericks lineup looks good, possibly a winning formula. But the Lakers got Luka Doncic, and in 20 years, fans will look back and wonder how one of the greatest players of all time in his prime was traded away on a random Saturday night.
The craziest Saturday night. Nigga, like I was playing SSX and that shit just popped up. That shit was crazy. But yeah, man, that shit wild. Like I said, you know what's crazy? Now that I sit back and look at the Dallas Mavericks after they traded away Luka, like they still built to win. They just got to do it. Like 1, Kyrie got to get healthy. That's off the strength. And 2, AD got to get on the court. I think he said after his next couple of like evaluations, like maybe in the next 2, he'll be able to get back on the court. So maybe by like the end of this week, he said, I think I watched the interview that he did after he arrived in Dallas, that he might be able to get back on the court as soon as this week, or at least this weekend when they play. So it's like, I think Dallas, they are built to win, but it's just when you trade Luka Doncic, who is literally carrying y'all, like my man said, on one leg and leading the whole entire league in the playoffs in almost every statistical category, you're bugging. Like I said, you have Zion Williamson down there in New Orleans, who quite literally was the heaviest player in the league at 6'6", and they still didn't give up on him. Jokic was overweight at one point in Denver. They still didn't give up on him. And when he did get right, when he learned his lesson by losing in the playoffs multiple times, his ass got in shape and they won a championship. James Harden, once again, out of shape player who liked to come in the league and play himself into shape. He's won MVPs. Has he won a championship? Hell nah. But he also ran into the Warriors when he was in the Houston Rockets. So that's the reason why he don't got a championship. And he was on the Thunder when they lost to the Miami Heat. But still, like, teams believed in these players. Like, if that's the case, Zion should have been out the league, because he literally hasn't been able to play because he keep getting these little knick-knack injuries that have to deal with his weight. You know what I'm saying? Same thing Luka's dealing with, but on a lesser scale, because at least Luka was able to play games in the regular season. And when it was time to show up in the playoffs, he showed up. But yeah, I think Dallas, I think they're still able to possibly win. They just got to get healthy. And they need another playmaker. I seen somebody say, because, you know, if you've been paying attention, Zach LaVine just got traded from the Bulls to the Kings. So if the Bulls end up hitting the rebuild button and they trade and they not trade Lonzo Ball, but if they buy out Lonzo Ball's contract, and then if Dallas is able to get him in the buyout market, that would be crazy. Because it's like, right now, I think the only playmaker on the team in Dallas is Kyrie, and we know he's not a pass first point guard at all. He looking to score. So it's like, if you get another playmaker to pair with him, somebody like Alonzo, who is willing to pass the ball, and he's willing to play defense. He can play defense. He can play make. He can shoot. He's a good 3-point shooter. Man, that would be crazy. Dallas might fuck around and be the best team in the West. No funny, they might be the best team in the West, because even though you got OKC doing their thing, they athletic, fast, they play fast, they got Shea. They're very suspect in the paint. And when they do play players, when they do play teams with bigs, with a lot of good bigs, they get punished, which is why they lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers, even though I think they went back to beat them recently, but not too long ago, they lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Dallas Mavericks have been in a slump recently before this whole trade went down. And I think Dallas lost 7 out of their last, 9 or something like that. But I think the 2 games that they actually won, or they might have won like 6 out, they might have lost like 6 out of their last 8, something like that. But they said the 2 games that they won since they've been on this slump was against the OKC Thunder. So the OKC Thunder are very, very suspect in the paint. And when AD get there, it's only gonna make things worse. He could really play the Twin Towers game, and he could spread the floor, and he locking up. So that's tough. And the Rockets, they are at the top too, but I don't believe in the Rockets right now. Like, I think they're gonna be a tough out, but they're not ready to win a championship. They got to lose a couple times and learn a lesson. We seen last year the Wolves, the T-Wolves learned their lesson because they never went that far in the playoffs, and they got gassed, and then they got punished in the Western Conference Finals against the Dallas Mavericks. But yeah, I don't believe in the Rockets right now. I think they're gonna be a tough out, and teams are gonna very well have to deal with them. But when it's time, I think veteran teams or teams who've been around, like the Nuggets or even the Thunder, or, you know what I'm saying, the Dallas Mavericks, when they run into these teams in the playoffs, or even like the Lakers, I feel like the Lakers might even want that matchup, just because LeBron, I feel like he can exploit their youth and them not having experience, even though, like I said, the Lakers can't defend the soul. So maybe they might not want that. Not for real. But like, I feel like the Grizzlies, I feel like they would still be able to beat the Rockets over a course of 7 games, just because the Rockets ain't been there. Jalen Green ain't won 7 games nowhere yet. Shit, he might be the best player. And same with the Thompson twin. He's arising in Houston right now, and they ain't been in the playoffs one time. So we'll see, man. It's gonna be interesting. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna see when this trade deadline really come up. It's really gonna be some things shaking up and for this trade deadline. It's gonna be a lot of players moving, possibly some big trades. Jimmy Butler. They're talking about KD might go back to the Warriors, even though I don't think that he will, and I don't even know if I like that for KD, because it's like, that's over with. Like, y'all ain't gonna win. Y'all just gonna be a bunch of old niggas trying to compete against the young niggas and bring the vibes back, and it's not gonna be that. Like, so I mean, we'll see. We're gonna see who go with who, and we'll see where these teams end up before the All-Star break. But yeah, you know what I mean? It's your boy Finesse Dog. We out, nah, for real.